Greetings and salutations. Welcome to the YouTube channel Plugin Police and Too Many Plugins. Today we're going to talk about BitWig Studio or BitWig Studio. A little bit difficult to say that. BitWig Studio. Studio is a DAW that comes from a couple of developers who have worked on Ableton Live, and they themselves. They have worked on it, and they stepped out of the Ableton production family, let me say it like that, and decided themselves to create a DAW, which is called BitWig. It's a developer. I think it's in Berlin, in Germany, where they come from. So if you can see over here already the resemblance to Ableton Live with the modules over here, so with your VSTs in a chain configuration, so that you can already recognize a little bit. You start looking over here also to the scenes over here, so the event triggerings that are vertical, the same as in Ableton Live. So Ableton Live, by the way, I have tried it several times to use. I don't like the workflow of Ableton Live at all. I like BitWig a lot more. There's also things I don't like about BitWig, but BitWig is a very, very special DAW with very, very special features. A very advanced DAW, and they really created something really, really, really different. You know, they went off the conventional way of creating a DAW and did something really their own way. BitWig has lots of advantages. There's also some disadvantages, but there's this video is going to be probably very, very long because there's a lot to tell about BitWig. I've myself acquired this one. This is the 8-track version I have over here that I acquired with just buying a cheap MIDI keyboard that included it. So there was like a MIDI keyboard of like 50 euros or something, and it contained the 8-track version of BitWig. First I used the complete studio version, so the 30-day test for the whole unlimited version. And after that, I have for some time used the 8-track version, which you can do a lot with also, because BitWig has a very nice function where you can bounce down things. So you can, and you can also create groups. And if you bounce down things, you can actually really work around the limitations of 8 tracks, because in BitWig you can make yourself an arrangement, and you can then bounce it down. You can even bounce it down with your plugins in it, and then. How do you call that? To start over again. So you can even add several things. And what I then also many times did is then use an extra track to record something in, and then eliminate other tracks to free up more tracks. So first bouncing down with the effects and VSTs already added to it, and then record 3 or 4 tracks into one new track, and then eliminate the other tracks, and like that you can get around the 8-track limitation. But BitWig is very advanced, especially in the amount of VSTs that you get with it. BitWig, the praise I have for BitWig is the fact that all plugins are in a sandbox. So if your plugin crashes, then the sandbox crashes. You have to compare it a little bit with running several operating systems in a virtual box. You can just do that, and one operating system can crash or can get corrupt or even have a virus. It cannot affect the rest of the other plugins that are in a virtual box, or the operating system who's running the virtual box itself. So that's really a big advantage. If a plugin crashes, it doesn't let BitWig or the other plugins crash. Every plugin is in its own individual virtual box or sandbox, you could call it. BitWig, my praises for it is the modularity. So BitWig is very, very, very modular. You can add many, many, many things. Optimization is really, really crazy what you can do with BitWig. It also has then the grid functionality where you can yourself build synthesizers and drum machines and effects racks, and you can yourself create literally a Euro rack actually, where you're just having and you create yourself an effect chain or a synthesizer chain, or you create yourself a new instrument. Basically, that's what you can do with BitWig. So we go down over here. I'll show you some. This is then for the full version. What you can do. I have the powerful editing tools. Then a note editor over here. Then we have auto comping anywhere. Then we have instruments and effects, and BitWig includes a lot of default plugins. So you get a lot of synths and a lot of plugins already included with BitWig. Then you have a sampler in it. You have a Phase 4, that's for oscillator synthesizer. You have an EQ Plus, which is just a dynamic equalizer. A graphical equalizer, sorry about that, with 8 bands, but I think this one you can also make it dynamic probably. It also supports for sure sidechain. You have a drum machine, an arpeggiator, you have a micro pitch, you have an amp. You have convolution, you have delay plus already included in it, and then this is the grid what I'm talking about. The grid is a sound designer's dream. It can be a synth, an audio effect, or most things you can imagine. So over here you can just start adding all sorts of modules and create yourself an instrument basically. And then what's then also really crazy, again what I say about automation in BitWig is really crazy. So you can do really advanced modulation. So the grid is a modular sound design environment open for you to build your own creations from scratch. It's also an expressive instrument, hundreds of high-quality patches for you to explore, ready to play. It's sophisticated yet easy and fast at the same time. Explore it, build it, play it. Really nice. I think this one is not in the 8-track version, but only in the whole studio version now. Modulation heaven. Now this is really the big advantage of BitWig. The modulation possibilities are phenomenal in BitWig. The best one out there. The modulation system in BitWig Studio allows you to use microcontrollers, note expressions, LFOs and envelopes to modulate any device, VST plugin or hardware parameter. With 30 plus modulators and counting, the potential for creative expression is endlessly. Hardware integration integrates very good in hardware. I agree with that. I've connected several MIDI controllers to it, and it was really straightforward, no issues whatsoever. So, and you can also just edit yourself everything. It also can do a MIDI CC notes, CV gate, analog, and MIDI clock, and MIDI time code. So there you go. Then modern foundation, crash protection. Here, this is what I'm talking about, you know. Built-in DAW from the ground up allows you to think different and solve old problems in new ways. BitWig Studio is made for the future. So this is what I mean with over here. We're running in a sandbox. So the plugin crashes, but the rest of the DAW and your project or the other instruments don't crash. So, and that's really nice, because there's some plugins, VST plugins, can be unstable, can crash, and can then bring your whole project down. There's touch support, which I find a little bit unnecessary, but there you go. It's there anyway. The big praise I have to give to BitWig is the sound engine. These guys have a fantastic sound engine. It's for me one of the best sound engines that I have listened in DAWs. It's a really good sound engine. So props to them. There's also some minuses on BitWig Studio. I will go over here and I'll show you a little bit what I mean with negatives of BitWig Studio. This is, by the way, my account, but I have then here the 8-track version. But even if you have the full studio version, you get only 1 year of service with it, and after that you have to then upgrade to the next version. So I can keep on using. I'm now using 5.011, but it ended on September the 30th of 2022. Then after that, of course, you can keep on using it. You just don't receive updates anymore. But that's a little bit. And after that, you have to then also pay. I think it's like to upgrade it again. It's like $80 or something, if I remember it well. Maybe it's even much more. Who knows? I think $80 was actually more SoundBridge. I think it was much more expensive. This, so you know, and. that's a little bit, if you start looking to their prices, it's 359 euros for the whole version, and then studio produces 169. That's a little bit then the same as Fruity Loop Studio, the version of 200. And then a bit with Studio upgrade from 8 track, I think you get then 16 tracks or something. That's then $80, But then the problem with that is the fact that even this 359 version here you have over here, you get only 1 year of upgrade versions included, and after that you have to again upgrade and pay. And I find that a little bit crazy, especially if you start looking to other DAWs to even pay this kind of money for a DAW and having only 1 year of updates included. I find that I don't agree with that business model. This is why I also got only the 8-track version with a MIDI keyboard. I advise you to do that also if you just want to get it cheap, and maybe make an upgrade of 80 on top of it if you want to go to the 16-track version. But I don't know, it feels me a little bit bad, to pay, for example, 350, 360 or 169 US dollars, for a DAW that only gives you 1 year of updates, and then you need to start spending money again, so I don't really agree with that, There was another YouTuber also, I think it's Venus Theory. He was, for a couple of years, he was really into BitWig, but then he also got a little bit frustrated with this pricing model of them. So, so he, Venus Theory himself, after that, decided to just drop a BitWig Studio, and went after that, I think he went to... where did he went to exactly? There was another DAW that he went to. I don't remember which one it was. It was that really cheap one of $60. Reaper, exactly. He went to Reaper. So there you go. He went tired with that business model. I can understand that, to pay that kind of money and then you need to all the time. I don't even remember how much it was. I think it was even more than $80 to upgrade then. So yeah, I can totally understand it. Now have a look now in BitWig Studio, and sorry about this. I just had a technical issue over here. That's why I needed to a little bit interrupt the video like this. So here we go, a BitWig Studio. We got here now a wavetable synth. BitWig Studio, what I start already telling you what I don't like about BitWig Studios is Explorer over here. I don't find it just a very clunky Explorer. I don't find it very handy to do. This is one of the things that frustrates me a lot about the BitWig. And then what frustrates me also of BitWig is the way that you need to select here your plugins. I find it always a little bit strange that, So you get your arranger here, you got your mixer over here, and then you got your editing panel over here for clip and track. And then you have your mixer panel over here. And then you have your arranger. And then for every track you have to select your track. And then you start adding modules over here. So everything works over here on a horizontal plane. And then, for example, now if I want to go to the wavetable, I have to click here again. And if I want to see my wavetable synth, then you need to click on this little box over here. And then you will open my wavetable synth. A little bit confusing sometimes that with BitWig. I don't really enjoy that. And also here the search tool. I don't find the search tool so handy, I'm now over here, in the file browser, yeah. But I would like to here now just to be able to just search, I can't do that. See what I mean? So the file browser, I'm not wild of this file browser. In your library, you can do it, of course. Let's see if we can pick up something. Grab the audio zip. Maybe you can find it. Wait a second. Can he now find my plugin? No, he cannot. All devices. Then we need to go to all devices, and now he can find it. You see what I mean here? The search tool, especially in samples. So, for example, the search tool in VST plugins is really good, but in samples, now I'm here in samples, I cannot, now I just want to give me a loop. Sorry about that. Now, the synth went on. So now I just want to have a loop here. Now it's already bothering me. Give me a loop. And you see what I mean? This is like very, very clumsy the way this search thing works over here. Now I'm here in my file browser, you know. You know, this is just like, what is this, you know? Why can I not here just search? I'm doing it totally wrong, but why can I not just search here in my samples? One of the most important thing. I just want to be able to write down here and say 120 BPM trap loop or something, you know? Give me something, you know, or search in notes or something, you know, a B minor or something, you know. I find that here the search thing for the file browser for your samples and stuff is very crappy, but then for your all devices it's pretty okay, you know. But this is then just all your VSTs, you know. So now I want a clipper, you know. Give me a clipper. And he finds my clippers, you know. Well, not all of them, you know. Clip shifter, you know. Let me search for something else. Warmpy. Oh, he finds my Warmpy. My LA2A tube compressor. You see how he's finding it over here? But and you can search also through everything. If you search through everything, then you can, you should be able to find this. But now he comes here only with things that contain loops for plugins, you know. Search for find the category. You see what I mean? The browser here, I don't like this browser. I really don't like here the way that it works here for finding samples, you know. I don't need such advanced features for my VSTs in search. I need advanced features for samples. I want to look for samples in notes or in BPMs or a riser or you know, a loop or a kick or a bass line, or, you know, I want to be able to search like that, you know, or to search in BPM. So I find this file browser here not handy at all. Okay, then BitWig, what I mean over here, where are now actually, this is my mixer, my arranger. You see what I mean now over here? How this is all like really weird. Where's my channels now? They're already gone. So I probably made here a mistake. So, but there you go. Let me just undo. You see what I mean? I just with typing stuff, I already activated keys. This is also a problem in BitWig. You have to really pay attention. If your caps lock is on or off, you can trigger certain functions. A big thing about BitWig, learn shortcuts, because they're really important in BitWig Studio. So let me see what I can also undo. Tempo change, range from undo, copy wavetable. I had here also a sample, but let's put here a sample in it. So here you have the vertical arranger stacks, the same as you have it in Ableton Live. So you can move here your arranger steps and trigger things. So that's all in the vertical plane. So here you can see also that it really is, if you use the Ableton Live, you should very quickly get the hang of BitWig Studio. So there you go. A fantastic sound engine, by the way. I like very much the bounce down functions that you have over here. So you can now just click on something if you have several tracks in your arranger. Then you have your automation editor. You have here your show detail editor panel. Then this is show mixer panel. Show detail editor, edit, mix, arrange. All sorts of functions over here, also for signatures and loop, start, end, fade, and all that kind of stuff. If you click right on something, then you have here bounce in place and bounce. And that's what I talk about in consolidate, which works really well. Consolidates, puts everything a little bit more in the right grid. And then double content, and then bounce in place is what I was telling you, bounce in places. He or only bounces the WAV file, and bounce in place, I think, is WAV file with the VST plug-in instruments or effects that you edited on top of the track will then also be automatically bounced in place, and that gives you then space to free up channels or to take away VST plugins. So you're finished in editing your track and your samples, and you have all your VST and effects already finished, and you can just bounce it down and becomes just already integrated in the wave track, and that you can free up resources to create a new track and take the old VSTs away from it, because you already finished editing, so it can be stay just a wave without they're running all sorts of instruments that starts being really high on your CPU load. So there you go. For the rest, it's all very self-explanatory. I have here only the 8-track version, so there's a lot of things I cannot show you because they're all integrated in the 16. In the full version. This is just a very limited version, but you have here. For your clips, then you have the lead launcher clip, you have duplicate button, you have undo redo, you have edit and add. And then over here, there's just your transport mechanism. Then you have a file system over here. And yeah, for the rest, they keep it all very basic. You get the hang of it, but it's all a little bit what I was saying, you know. You need to get a little bit used here to jumping here also from your arrangers to screen, you know. Undo tempo change, quit launcher. There are already some things here that he now automatically did. Let me do everything. Do a wavetable. We grab the wavetable synth over here. We throw it on instrument 1. Loading plugin. Sorry. So now here we have the wavetable. And now the synth is not working. So you have to put your caps lock on. Let's see if we can find some nice sound. So that's caps lock on off. You can trigger your wavetable synth or your instrument, whatever you're working on. So there you go. There you can trigger your keyboard. I've now temporarily not my MIDI keyboard connected. I'm here just now on a normal keyboard. But with the caps lock, you can trigger your MIDI keyboard. Very important to learn the shortcuts. So that's like a Control D and Control E. You can like use that for like deleting stuff, editing stuff. So that's also quite cool. Let me just throw a sample in here and see if we can. Edit a sample, number 5, throw behind it. So you can see also you can just work straight next to it. BitWig also, you can add instrument tracks, and you can add audio tracks, you can add FX tracks, and you can add group tracks. So they're all a little bit different. Then we're now on the arranger, automation editor. We have now the launcher clips enabled here, but you can also start your product different, where you get just a normal arranger. Now we are sort of in the quick trigger arranger of Ableton, like Ableton has. Yeah, we're now really set it as an as Ableton project panel, output monitoring panel. Showing just the functions quickly. And here you can activate individual modules over here on the side. For your keyboard. So there you go. Maybe we'll put up a new one. Let me see if I can open a new file. Over here, open new project. Yeah. No, actually, it's not necessary. Just open a new one. And now we should be able to go to everything and give me a loop. Now I need to start finding. This is what I mean also with I don't like this browser thing over here. I really don't like it. Yeah. We find just a baseline. Now just throw a baseline in here. And when you get another baseline behind it, oh, this is by the way on 75 BPM. Okay, now in BitWig, if you want to zoom, you have to do this. You have to grab this part over here, and if you want to do the rest, you have to do it like this. So, and that's the way that works over here. So you can start zooming, and you can start clicking here. And you can make fades in. So here's a fade in. Here's a fade out. Now listen to that again. It's just bass for a trap track. Now you can over here, up here, you can set your loop length. And then you can here activate loop. Here's the loop setting on. So there you go. That's a little bit of a BitWig Studio. Lots of functions are possible over here. I'm not going to go into everything because, but you can do all sorts of things by just right-clicking. And of course, please learn yourself the basic copy, paste, and all those kinds of things, the shortcuts, which are pretty easy. And I've also crazy slice in place functions. Double content I like a lot, reset fades, auto fade, auto crossfade, transpose, and octave up and down, which you can just do like this within the wave track. So absolutely brilliant. The only thing, let me just see if I can find that over here. Everything zip. Let me just find my my compressor and throw it here on this. Sorry, it's a little bit heavy, this. Okay, there he is, you know. So if you now want to, the modulation is over here. And your side chain. Here's your sidechain over here of your effect. So here you can select them now and put them to FX1 to another track sidechained. So that's what you do over here on top. So if you have your plugin, here's your plugin. Now this is my plugin over here, and here we can go to sidechain. And add here the sidechain function. In traction waveform, you just have that over here in your plugin. I find it a little bit easier to do. But so there you go. That's where you can find your sidechain is over here. And the rest advanced modulation, I'm not going to do that because I need to set up a big project to be able to do that. But for the rest, it's all pretty easy. And then of course your modulation is over here. You can add modulators on top of everything. I want auto effects. I want distortion on it, a delay on it, and add yourself just modulators by the modulator buttons over here, which are these arrows over here, and these are your sidechain buttons for, in this case, the unfiltered audio zip compressor we are using. So there you go. Here's your modulation, show remote controls, show plugin window. Then we have here plugin parameters, automation, and then here's sidechain. And then here show plugin post FX chain. And then here you can search for whatever you want to add here still on top of the plugin. That's where the modularity comes from. You can add anything between or after, and you can automate everything even within your effects chain. So I can add now here several new effects behind it, and we throw what we do. We throw a ring modulator over here in the back. Now we got a ring modulator, and then we can also automate that over here. And now we want a dynamic eek in the back. There we have a dynamic eek. We go down. And we want a flanger, and now we have in the back over here, we have a flanger module, and that you can just all, you can all sidechain it, because this is already sort of sidechained this, you know, in your individual VST effects you can do that also, and here you can modulate this also, so you can say, I want to have modulation on top of this, and then show what kind of source we want. We want a ring modulator, add a new page. Go into oscillator, bass trap post. So you can automate all of this. Throw even a source, throw a chain behind it. You know, and like this, are we on trap 1, 2? Let me see. Okay, so but there you go. That's BitWig just quickly. We'll continue a little bit. Gonna go a little bit more advanced still in it. But that's basically BitWig in a nutshell. You can go mental over here. By the way, I made a mistake over here. I need to just remove this because something is not really, let me see, correct over here. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. BitWig is totally worth it. As a DAW, only their business model I don't really agree with, and there's some things here on the searching. Some things I find still very cluttered, especially the searching, the workflow. But once you get used to this, the possibilities are literally endless. But there you go. Until the next time, stay safe, take care. I'll catch you in the next one.